Now, let's be honest. I know a lot of you guys are subscribed to my channel because you wanted to learn how to build and grow an Instagram account. But I also know that most of you guys that are doing that, you're doing that because you want to know how to make money. And one of the easiest ways to make money, and I've talked about this recently, is by selling shoutouts and promo on your Instagram account. But selling shoutouts is one of those things that's not super easy to get into if you have no idea what you're doing. So in today's video, we're going to cover 3 things that you need to know before you start selling shoutouts on Instagram. And this is going to help you to get more sales, help you to look more professional, and help you to make this an easier process all around. Now, the first and most important thing that you need to know before you sell a shoutout is what questions to ask and what information you're going to need to sell that shoutout and to make it happen. And what I mean by that is it's really easy on your first promo deal to not know exactly what questions to ask and what to figure out beforehand with the person that you're selling the promo to. So instead of asking just one concise set of questions and figuring out all of the exact parameters that they want for this deal for their promo, you're going to go back and forth with them over several hours, clarifying things, asking more questions, having them tell you what they want, when you could have just asked it all in the beginning and had it done much easier and quicker. So with that understanding, here are some of the questions that you're going to want to ask up front if somebody says that they're interested in buying promo from you. First of all, what do they want you to market? Do they want you to market a new song, a product, or a service? Or do they just want you to market their page so that they can get more followers? Second of all, is there a certain time frame that they're going for? Do they want this promo ASAP? Do they want it by a specific date or on a specific date? And is there a certain time of the day that works better for them or better for you? What time are you doing it at? Third of all, what type of content are you posting for this? Do they have something that they want you to repost for them? Or are you going to custom make content for their shoutout? Is it going to be a reel? Is it going to be a carousel? Is it going to be a story post or just a regular image post? These are things that you need to clarify with them and figure out. On top of that, what is the caption going to look like? Is the caption going to have a certain call to action? Do they want any information about themselves and what they do in the caption? You need to also figure that out. And then lastly, what kind of payment processor do they have and do you have? Do you accept payment via all sorts of payment processors, or do you only accept payment, let's say, via PayPal? These are all things that you should be asking in the beginning so that that doesn't turn into, for example, 5 or more messages just to figure those things out. And even if you ask these 5 questions perfectly in the beginning, don't be surprised if down the road the customer has more questions or more demands for you. The idea of asking these questions up front is that you're going to look more professional, like you know what you were doing, you were ready for this. It's going to make the process more enjoyable for both of you, and you're going to be able to convert more people into buyers for your promo because the whole process was easier and shorter for them to do. Now, along with that, I want to give you guys a pro tip that normally you would have to pay for this information, but I got it out of a course and I think it's worth sharing with you guys. Now, what a lot of big pages on Instagram do, we're talking theme pages with hundreds of thousands of followers that are constantly selling promo. The way that they handle promo is they automate the whole process. They'll use something like Google Forms or Jot Forms to ask all of the questions that they would ask in DMs, but on a form and to have it all in one centralized place. So normally if you ask some of these big pages, hey, I want to buy a promo from you guys, they'll say, okay, fill out this form and I'll get right back with you. And this form will again ask all of those questions, have a box where you can upload images or videos that you want promoted. And that way they don't have to go back and forth in DMs. All of it is automated. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Jotform even has a payment processor built into its app. So everything can be done in one place and pretty much all you have to do is just post the content. But either way, if you decide to sell promo out of your DMs or off of a form, the second most important thing that you need to know is that you should be willing to make custom content for your promos. Well, creating custom content for your promos doesn't necessarily mean that you have to make an entire post or an entire video from scratch. What it means is if you have certain themes or certain templates, certain colors that you use in all of your regular posts on your profile, you should offer to do that for the person's promo that they're trying to buy on your profile. So to give you an example, I've got 2 posts here, and one of them is a promo and one of them is not. It's not immediately identifiable which one is a promo and which one is not because they use the same theme and they both look like they belong on my page. Now, if you offer that as an option for somebody that's buying promo from you, that's going to help them to get higher conversion rates from your audience over to their page or to their product, whatever they're trying to sell or do, whatever they're trying to market. So it's a good option to offer because when they get higher engagement rates from your audience, it's going to tell them, hey, maybe I should work with those guys again in the future. Their promos converted really well, and they even did it custom and made it look like it belonged on their page, like it was a regular post. So even though it might be a little bit more work on your end, it's going to be a little bit kinder to your audience, and it might be preferable to the person that's buying promo from you. And I get that it is going to take that extra time. So what some pages will do is they'll say, hey, I'll make you a custom promo that'll fit better with my audience and my page. And it's an extra $3 or it's an extra $5 on top of whatever the regular promo price is. Now, the third thing to think about before you start selling promos is what is your value proposition and what are your prices going to be? And I know that this probably sounds like something that you've already thought about or something that you've figured out, but just hear me out. Now, when you're thinking about the value proposition of your page, you should be asking yourself, what does your page and what does your audience have that advertisers might like? Is your audience so highly specific and highly targeted that an advertiser goes, oh, that's the perfect customer, I should advertise to them? Or do you maybe just have so many followers that an advertiser goes, you know what? I'm bound to find some customers in there. It's probably worth getting in front of all of these people. These are things to think about, is what are you bringing to the table for somebody that wants to promote with you? Now, I want to add this because I think it's important. The more targeted and the more niche down that your page is, the more money you're going to be able to charge per follower than a page that's more generalized. So to give you an example, Hyperpop Daily is a page that's kind of similar to mine. They cover hip hop news, right? But the one key difference is that they cover only hyperpop rappers and hyperpop news. And hyperpop is a subgenre of hip hop. So ultimately, even if our pages were the exact same size, they would always be able to charge more for promo than I would because their audience is highly targeted. Advertisers, let's say a rapper that's a hyperpop rapper, is always going to want to advertise on that hyperpop page before he comes and advertises on mine. Mine is too general. So when you're talking about pricing your page, you should really be looking at competitors in the same niche or similar niches and be figuring out, how can I be competitive with these guys, but also am I offering more for advertisers and promoters than these guys are? These are things that you need to understand before you price your page. And one thing that I just want to throw out there, some advice to you guys, is if you're really willing to accept $10 for your promo, let's say, then maybe your starting price, your asking price for your promo should be $12 or $15. So if you have to negotiate down and you only come out with 10 or $8, you're still okay with that. It was kind of a price that you were more okay with to begin with. Or conversely, if you want to build a relationship with somebody and somebody's advertising with you for a second, a third, a fourth time, or you really like this person, you like what they have to offer, you can offer them a discount and still be okay with that. And that's one of the tools that you can use to build relationships with the people that want to buy promo on your page.